Hello. Hi. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
It's good to be on. Sorry, we're 3 minutes late because it's the first time we're doing a live YouTube event. Happy Equinox, everybody. Hope you're with us and enjoying and going to enjoy this live Equinox celebration. I am Karni.
I'm Gafnit Salvi.
And together we're going to spend the next half hour, maybe or so, with some explanations about this very, very special day, the equinox, explanations and live research about it,
Yes.
and some exercise everybody can do. Now, if you're with us, please say hello, write a message, send your likes, send us a thumbs up so we know you are here. And of course, if you have any questions, if you're hearing us good or bad, just let us know so we know how to do this right. So I'm Kali So, and I'm an astrologer. I do charts for many years and teach astrology for almost 20 years now. And I invited my amazing friend, who is luckily also my neighbor, Gafnit.
It's happened.
So it happened. Uh, Gafnit started the a template, the Golden Education template, which is an amazing school here in the village where we live, and the Y Top, which is a youth movement worldwide. She's an artist and a researcher. So I really wanted you, Gafnit, to be with us today.
It's an honor.
Yeah.
It's an honor to learn from Karni each time and to explore. I think 2/3 of the thing we have kind of a clue, and then 1/3 is very surprising also for us.
Yes.
And
Yes.
this is a real research. Einstein once said, if you would know the research, the result of the research, don't call it a research. We call it a research
Yeah.
because some of it we don't know.
Yes. 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 So what is the equinox?
Yes.
Let's
Why is it a fast?
exactly. Why is it a fast? So the ancient people talked about four sacred days during the year, and it's very interesting that our year has 365 days in which it revolves around the sun. So this is planet Earth. This is the sun, and the Earth goes around the sun. It takes 365 days. Now, it's interesting that in a circle there are 360 degrees.
Yes.
And the Egyptian people said that the year only has 360 days, and 5 days are out of time. So this is so interesting that they related, yes, the circle and the movement of Earth, and how, and the interesting thing is that this movement of Earth around the sun that creates the year doesn't only create the year. That's okay, the sun, yes, the sun stays still. It also creates the four seasons. So planet Earth is very interesting. It's not straight like that. This is the equator. It has a tilt. It's very interesting because it's the same tilt that our heart is in. And planet Earth revolves around the sun. It doesn't change its tilt, but it, of course, also revolves around itself. And the way the seasons are created, and we're talking about the seasons because the four sacred days of the year are the change point between the four seasons. We have the two equinoxes at the beginning of spring and autumn, and we have the two solstices at the beginning of the summer and winter. So how is it created? as you can see, because Earth is tilted, at this position, the northern hemisphere gets much more light. Can you see that? So this would mean summertime in the northern hemisphere and winter in the southern hemisphere. Now, when the Earth is in the other part of the sun, let's move all of this here, we see that this bottom part, the south, is the area that gets all the sunlight. So this is summer in the south hemisphere, and this is winter in the north hemisphere. Okay. And twice a year, when the Earth is exactly like this, okay, or like this, you can see that at this position, it really doesn't matter where you are, you get the same amount of light all around the globe. So the equinox, which is the day we are at now, is the day when light and darkness are equal all around the globe. And this is so unique because usually the two parts, the two hemispheres, yes, are very polar to one another. One has summer, the other has winter. They're very different. But at these two unique points of alignment of this equinox, yes, equinox, there is equality and balance exactly all around the world. And wherever you are now, you have 12 hours of day and 12 hours of night. And this is absolutely unique. So why is this time unique? Because it talks about a point of balance, a point of balance between the day and the night. And of course, the day and night are symbols for so many things between the light and the darkness. The astrological card that goes with the equinox would be the ascendant. It talks about the right balance between darkness and night, and the light between night and day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really fascinating that there is a moment in time, actually twice in time, where our friends, if you have friends in Australia or in Africa, South Africa, we feel the same feeling.
Mhm.
And if we have like the genders, the female and the male, we feel equal. It's such a, in a way, clean slate.
Mhm.
You know the expression clean slate, where you give a new platform. You actually work our own mentality to put things right.
Mhm.
And this is a unique feeling because it's not only our personal feeling, it's something to do with a bigger system that give us a permission.
Mhm.
And this is so unique.
Yes.
And
Yes.
we don't, it's not, it does have nothing to do with politics or with countries or with epidemics. It's just their natural process.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
it's very unique and it's very powerful.
Yes, yes, yes. When we think about the movement of planet Earth, we can also see it as pendulum. Yes, it goes from one extreme to the other, from one extreme to the other. So it goes from summer to winter. It goes from a light to darkness. There is always an extreme. And in these very special points of the equinox, it's like the time when the pendulum stops. It doesn't really stop, but it's at the point of pure balance. And at this point, first, there is balance between two opposing powers. So they can meet, they can join. And something new can enter at this time. This is very, very unique. And this is why this day has a very, very special meaning to it. And when you think about our lives, we're also in one extreme and another, one extreme and another, right? Where we're working hard and then we're exhausted, or we're going out and doing things and then we just want to be home and rest. We're doing new things and we want then to go back to the old things.
And it's quite amazing because each time we passing,
Mhm.
we pass through a point which is a point of clarity.
Yes.
It's a point where the pendulum is stand still for.
Yes.
So each time we kind of rotate,
Mhm.
we come to like a seesaw,
Yes.
you know, or like the hammocks.
Mhm.
We feel when it's up, when it's come to a balance, and when it's go up again.
Mhm.
And actually, the Chinese, and also in the Chinese medicine, they say that if we only שואפים,
Breathe.
לא,
Inhale.
לרצות
Want. Desire.
If we only desire for balance,
Mm.
it's when we are half dead. But if we are in a movement and balance, it's mean we are progressing.
Mm. Yes, yes. So we need a movement and balance, movement and balance.
Yeah,
And
balance can be also the sleeping,
Mhm.
resting, you know, gather our thoughts,
Yeah.
meeting with the family. This is a great time to meet with the family,
Mhm.
to have a family conference,
Mm.
to speak about few issues, to come to agreement about few things, to confirm,
Mhm.
because we are in equal state. It's to confirm our life together and the
Mm.
uniqueness of each individual, which we spoke
Yes.
about it so many times in our
Mhm.
project called Clover 4.
Yes, yes,
Yes?
yes, which is a project to create 4 new holidays, natural holidays to celebrate around the world, no matter where you are on the globe, or what your religion is, or in what country you are, what culture you come from. We all feel these natural earth rhythms, and this is something we all can connect to. And this year specifically, it's very, very unique because during the spring equinox here in the north hemisphere, March 21st was the time that the whole world together got into a lockdown. Very, very, very interesting how the calendars and the events all collided together, came together, and after that, we're also now experienced 3 months after that. We June, lots of extreme again in the world. Maybe now things can come back to a point of balance during this equinox, which probably speaks with the equinox half a year ago.
And it's also very interesting to think about what will be the power of the collective if more people will know about the clean slate or the opportunity, the natural opportunity for the equinox day.
Yes.
You think that if more people will be conscious about it in the collectivity of positivity, it will help?
Yes.
Well, what is your sense about
Yes, of course. I think people can create a critical mass by what we think. Now, it's amazing because we can try to do all sorts of things and sometimes it doesn't work. But when we try to do the right thing at the right place at the right time, like, the 3 cherries in the sloth machine, this is when it works. So today is really a day to bring balance, and it's good that you asked about, how can I first bring balance to my life, and then how can me, little me, with creating some balance in my life, can affect the whole world and the crazy things going on now in the world. And we actually can affect it, because if people do the right thing in the right time, they radiate something, they transmit something. We can do it in our own little life and create a little bit of light, beautiful, yes, and of balance. And if we do that at the right time, which is today, to create some balance in our lives, it's not only about us, it can be radiated to the world. So let's try to do maybe some exercises to
Yes.
do with the balance. And
Because the balance will call the movement.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
It's
yes.
like the empty, something that is empty, like my
Mhm,
cup. When
mhm.
it's empty, it's immediately call for more to come in. But if it's full, it's balanced, but there is no movement.
So it means that we want to be balanced, we want to be empty, but also we want now to call for the right things
Yeah,
to fill us, because we're again going to an extreme.
yeah.
We are always going to extreme. So at least we want the extreme to be our chosen extreme.
From a state of
Yes,
unity to
yes.
go to. So when we are in the extreme, we know we are focused. We
So
know we are intact.
yeah, so I'm thinking even maybe before we do an exercise to do with balance, maybe write down what is it that you want your to fill your life with. Take a page, take a paper, pen, pencil, and write down what is it that you want to see your life in. You know, the phrase "be the change you want to see in the world." What good things do you want you to fill your life that actually you also want to see in the world? So is it health? Is it happiness?
Hope,
Hope?
peace,
Yes.
integrity,
Mm-hmm.
joyfulness.
Yes. Yes. So yes. So you can write down the qualities. I'll take a card for that from the cards to see. We'll have a mutual intention with the
Yes.
card. So if you have the cards, shuffle the cards and draw a card. We'll see what goes on. And if you're with us, say hello, write us, something on the chat so we know you're with us. So Venus came, and this is love. Venus means love. So this is a beautiful thing to want to fill our world and our hearts with. It's a and talks also about emotional balance.
Wow. Hey,
Yes, kind of beautiful.
I saw it was not invented. It was actually shuffle the cards
Yes,
and get it out.
yes, 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 yes.
It's mean actually. What does it mean when you do the shuffling of cards and you pick a card and you say, "Wow, it's really match what we're speaking about"? How does it actually work? In
How
what
does
state
it?
of mind?
One state of mind is that the answers are really, really available to us, and something really wants to communicate with us and talk to us and give us advice, and you just need to create the opportunities. So, one opportunity can be to work with cards, another opportunity can be to meditate, another opportunity can be to listen to a friend. They might have the answers for us. I really don't know, but the cards really are magical. I hear
Yes.
responses all the time
Yes.
that
And it's from all over the world.
yes,
These cards reach
yes, and
wherever.
they're translated now to 7 languages, and I get responses in Portuguese and need to translate it in Google Translate, which is wonderful. Please continue to send me the responses in Portuguese and Spanish and Dutch and everything and Chinese. Yes, so this is really it's really a box of magic. So talking about balance, yes, we have things in us that usually we use one part and not the other. For us women, it's more natural to use emotions than logic, for example. But we obviously need both. We tend to be either in the doing or in the being. but we actually need both. We need to be we tend to be in our right hemisphere, which is intuitive, the artists, or the left hemisphere, which is
Logic.
the logic. But actually,
Exactly.
exactly.
Even this little exercise
Yes.
really can help a lot. And it looks like very simple, but it's cross the middle line and it's create a bridge between the two hemispheres, which is make us creative, intuitive, and logic. Which what can be best?
Amazing. So
it's the
let's.
best of the
It's amazing. So let's do that. Okay. So let's do that for a minute. Okay. And try. And then please tell us what you feel. Okay. How did you do that? Like this and like that.
And when we do it now, let's not do it very quickly. So we can feel actually the activation, actually can feel like something is moving there in the head.
Mhm.
And when we put our hands on our shoulder or on our heads, it creates hormones of satisfaction and warmth, which is really, really important for each one of us. And also massage the head, the two sides of the head is really, really good. And just for this exercise, we can also take a pen in our right hand, or left hand, or both of them, and put a piece of paper and just make some doodles. How do you call them?
Yes.
Doodles. Just try to paint and draw and write things with the two hands. You can do it first with your what it's called the weak hand. It's not weak or strong hand. Both of them meant to be doing something. And when we activate both of them, we activate our two sides of the brain and create a bridge between. So you can say sometimes people say, how come are so logic? Or how come you are so intuitive? You decide things from your stomach. And then if we work out the two things, we are balanced, we are more balanced in our decision taking and decision making and receiving a decision. And we are not only like the emotional and the intuition, and then we say, but we didn't think about it. Or we only thought about it and then we couldn't sleep because our head was going on and on and on. If we make the two active, it will help us to be more decisive in a wholesomeness way, not like a very small hole, but in the wholesomeness way, in a way of hologramic perception about things.
Amazing. Yes. So it's a good exercise
It's
to
a
try,
good exercise,
and we will.
Yes.
But we also have a question from Lori Heffron. So, hi, Lori. If I'm correct, I think she's from Tennessee. She says, I'm still wondering about how we get a fresh start at this time of the equinox. And it will be wonderful if you can elaborate a bit about your question, because it gives already lots of starters. First of all, we're in the most unbalanced year that we have ever experienced. So how can we do the exercises, to balance ourselves when there is so much going on? It's a wonderful question.
Yes. Well, you see, we can't be responsible for all the world, but we can be responsible for our own small world. And this is where we're starting. And then it can radiate, it can have its own ripples.
Yeah.
Like the sea come to the seashore. It does not come as one avalanche. It's come with the small steps.
Yes.
So we can only be responsible for our own life, knowing that the big world might be in a mess. And it is in a mess. And when something is in a mess, it's actually not complete. It's on the way. Like when we make order in the house or clean the house, sometimes you see the chairs is on the table, and something is on the sofa, and the books pile, you start to sort them out. So if someone will come in and say, what a mess, but then we know we are in the middle of put things right. So if we wouldn't move it, it would be static, it would be frozen, it would be segmented. Yes. But if we start to move it, it's look like a mess. Okay, but it's on the way. This is a movement and balance.
Yes.
So the movement is that we shuffle the cards, we shuffle things. Like if you wouldn't open the card, it would be stuck. It would stay there, sleep. All the card would sleep forever. But once you shuffle it, it's in a mess. But then you lift one card, and it starts to make a common sense, to give us a common sense.
Yes, yes, yes. And also to be aware of this dynamic. A lot of things can come from really observing things, not absorbing, no, observing things, observation and consciousness. Now, if we know about this pendulum going on everywhere, and we're aware of that, yes, then it's no wonder that we went into, quarantine, and then we go into rebellion. Okay, these are two extremes, and they're tightly connected to one another. And we went into fear from the disease. So now people are ridiculing the disease, the COVID, sometimes, somewheres, yes? So now take a look at this, and take a look that everything goes into one extreme to another. We ourselves, we go from one extreme to the other. Now, the point of balance is also to bring things into consciousness, to look and to see it and to recognize it, and then just to be in the balance, because we see it, we see the polarities and the extremes, but we don't want to be emotionally involved with them. Now, Lori elaborated her question. She says, usually she thinks of a fresh start on January 1st. Now, this is absolutely amazing because the Jewish calendar, for example, follows the natural celebrations, the four natural days. And for us, it's the Jewish New Year now.
Yes.
We celebrated 2 days ago Rosh Hashanah, which is the new Jewish year. And according to the Judaism, there are actually 4 new years during the year. Now, when we're talking about January 1st, we're actually also talking about time very close to one of the 4 natural cosmic gateways. It's very close to the equinox of December 21st.
Yeah.
And January 1st, I have to say, it's not a very natural time. It's a man set, but still it holds a very, very close connection to the natural cosmic gateway, another new year. So we have 4 opportunities to create different kinds of new starts. Now, what kind of new start? What kind of new start can we have now? So first of all, we have, this is the some in Hebrew, some in English, but this is the natural calendar. I'll just put it upright. And this is the astrological chart, but also it's a natural calendar. And we'll see that it's divided into quarters. Yes, they're here in the North Hemisphere, the spring, summer, autumn, and winter. And the astrological year actually begins the 21st of March with the beginning of the classical Aries sign. Now we're here. So these are the 2 equinoxes, and these are the 2 solstices. These are 21st of March and September, and these are around 21st of December and June. Every year it's a bit different. Today it's this 22nd. And this equinox here in the North Hemisphere is the beginning of autumn. So it ended a period of Virgo, which means try to put things in their right place, try to organize your life. And then we're now going into Libra, which really talks about balance and starting to shed whatever is not right. So this is the new start of shedding. There are different starts. If you're living in the southern hemisphere, it would be the beginning of spring. So it's a start of new beginnings. It's very, very different. But we're also part of one world,
Yeah.
which is an amazing concept to think about, that we're working together as a unit. And this is why this world doesn't explode, because each hemisphere experiences a totally different thing, but we're doing it together. So every time, yes, now here in the world, there is one half that is shedding and another half that is now starting new things. During the equinoxes, one half is in complete darkness, the other half is in complete light. But if we go out of our own perspective, how I see things, how I experience things, then I actually see that I'm a part of a bigger system. And being a part of a bigger system gives me the balance. And this is, again, looking at the pendulum, but not being in it, being able to be in the right point of balance.
Actually, the two parts of the globe, it's like the two hemispheres.
Mm.
Two parts of
You
our
need to
brain.
speak louder, I think.
Yes, they are working together.
Mm-hmm.
They are actually working together.
Yes, the two
And-
hemispheres and
yeah.
the two hemispheres of the brain.
Yes, that it's not by coincidence that it's called the same.
Mm-hmm.
And we should be aware, because you know that it used to be a time where the people who paint the map of the world, because they came from Europe, they made Europe and Canada and America much bigger
Mm-hmm.
than the south part, Australia, New Zealand, part of Africa, part of South America. And it's about time we give it a good thought, actually, and we make things in a new start hope, in a way. Karni is taking.
Yes, I'm taking out. This is the map of the world. By the way, with all the places I gave workshops in or planning to when the skies are going to reopen. But this is the how we see the world. This is how we were educated to see the world. Okay, and this is another way. Okay, to see the world. And it's I think this map is even not absolutely accurate. I think it's but it's really interesting. Try to do that. Try to look in another way
About things that
about
usually
things. Yes, that we're used to look at in a certain way.
Yes, and you can see to children when they get the camera, or the mobile telephone, the tab camera, and they want to take a picture. It will mostly will not be as adult takes a picture.
Mhm.
They will be able to play with it, to be much more flexible in the way they look at things. Sometimes it's they put their head down and take a picture. Sometimes they hold it not in a balanced, fixed way. And their picture, it's incredible.
Mhm.
It's incredible point of view, because they are still not fixed. They are still in absorbing and learning, and they don't have the stigma. This is beautiful. This is not. And and it's really amazing to try also for us to take pictures of nature and about things in our house, where all of a sudden we see it from different point of view. So I think we have another question.
Lori is saying, "Wow!" Just for first, she said, "So at less extreme times, we are in a unique position to readdress our focus." So yes, 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 yes. Because usually we move on this pendulum. We're reactive to something that happened. We go to the other extreme, but we're in a lock. We're in a lock. Tuck, tuck, tuck. This is something that actually I see in charts. In astrological charts, you
Mhm.
can see previous lifetimes and what is this lifetime
Okay.
mission.
Wow.
Yes, which is amazing. But sometimes people are locked into trying to balance something that happened during last lifetime, and then they go to the extreme during
Mm.
this lifetime, and then they're again in this lock. So someone will be all family, and next time she'll be all work. But it's not about all and all. It's about really finding the balance point between two things, or
Yeah.
a third whole new thing that comes from being able to handle these two polarities
Yeah.
in a good way.
And it's also to come from the first principle about
Mm-hmm.
why we are here, why there is human on earth,
Mm.
and not only our own personal gain and loss or what do we want from this world,
Mm-hmm.
is to see that our uniqueness, if each individual uniqueness have a lesson, a mission, a feeling to share. And if Karni and myself look at the hand now,
Mm.
Karni will see one side of my head. I will see the
Mhm.
other. Yeah.
Mhm.
But the fact is that it's one hand.
Yeah,
So looking at things from a different point of view
exactly.
can give us such a creative
Yes.
opportunities.
Yes. Think about borders between lands, and think about two nations being in war with one another, right? It's just one is seeing this side, the other one is seeing this side.
And
And
if we get to the third vector, we say,
yes,
wow, there is people here, there is people here. So what's different?
yes, yes, yes. Or if you're lucky enough to visit a country, you know, for example, as Americans try to visit Russia. As an Israeli, when I visited Jordan, which is a nearby country which we have peace with, but for many years there was a war between us. When I visited Jordan, it really opened something in my brain. It really did open something in my brain, because part of the Israeli education is to see Jordan as the other side. Yes, we're
Yeah.
connected. We have a border. Now it's peace. Everything's okay. But we're educated to see it as the other side of the border. And suddenly you're looking from the other side of the border to Israel, to your country. And I really then, this is what I felt, that the two hemispheres of my brain can now connect
Connect
to one
together.
another.
And,
Or even without war, right? Just
yeah.
New York and Los Angeles, or just be in another place and feel the difference.
So this exercise of the taking the pen
Yes.
in the two hands and do all kind of drawing and doodling, and don't mind if it's not the perfect thing you are thinking of, just go with it. It's a real story that once I was doing a massage to a hand of a person that had a headache, and one of his hand, the right hand, was like wow, like really really strong one, full of muscle, and the left hand was really much more weak, much more. And I asked him, "Are you a right hand person?" I said, "Sure." I said, and he said, "How do you know?" I said, "Because look at your two hands, they does not look the same."
Mm-hmm.
And his right hand was very tense.
Mm.
So I did massage for him, and it really helped because the headache was to press here, and it really helped.
Mm-hmm.
But then I said to him, look, if you want to do some exercise to increase your intuition and knowing about things, sometimes we know things, then we learn them, but we have this knowing. I said, why don't you try to use these two pens or others and just play with it whilst you're in the office or play with your children? Just do things with the two hands or the left hand and then right hand, and try to throw ball to the basket with the two hands, and kick the ball. And I said, your knowing, your understanding of your family will increase. And he called me after 10 days and he said, wow. Wow. He said, before my wife speaks, I know what she means. My children, the little one, when they cry, I understand them. And it's a true story.
Wow.
Now, we did it for 10 days, but if we keep practicing, we are melting, not breaking. We are melting our limits, sometimes this feeling of one eye looks this direction, and we are actually open a space. So even the third eye and the energy that really locked here can be opened up. He was shocked. I was shocked.
Wow.
Because it really works.
Yes. Gafnit, I wrote down your site here because amongst many other things, Gafnit wrote the Good Night Sleep, the book of good sleep. And I think also one of the ways to give good balance to the system is to sleep well. So I really recommend going into Gafnit's site and taking a look at the book and getting the book.
Because
And
now
we
it's
also,
in printing.
because now it's in printing, and also we did a whole webinar that you can get and purchase and see about good sleep. I think what we'll do now with the exercise, I'll give 2 minutes, I'll put some music on, and people will be able to doodle, okay? And to take 2 minutes just to really practice. We say we'll do it sometime, but now is the time to do it. So we'll give it 2 minutes with some music. Take 2 pens or 2 pencils or different colors, and try to do those simultaneously with both your hands. We'll give it 2 minutes and then we'll gather for the last short session. Yes, because we're towards the end of our time. So I'm putting just music for that. And now with the doodling, together with the doodling, try to write in both hands a quality you want to fill your life with. Hello to Antonio who joined us and everybody who's here. It's so wonderful. You can say hello. I wish we could see your doodlings. I'll share mine. The quality I chose is balance.
I show mine.
Wow.
It's because I practice. It's exercise, I do practice. So the quality is care and love.
Wow. Amazing. Beautiful, beautiful.
Can I give a few small exercise more to balance? One of them is really to balance our emotional life and our, sometimes we tend to judge very quickly. So one of the good exercise is to open the window or to go outside and to listen to the life outside. I know some people live in the middle of the city and it's impossible to hear birds or wind or leaves or something. But actually the natural sound of nature is help us to come back to our own center of gravity and to judge less, because when we judge ourselves, it's extended to judge others. And this kind of sounds, natural sound, and we cannot actually collect some sounds when we go to visit the sea or the forest or places, you know, where there is lots of birds and lots of life, and we record it and we keep it. And actually, we can't, I don't know how you call this app where you hear music and it immediately tell you which music it is. I don't, but actually it's a natural music. And it's good to keep some of this because it really help us to regather our thoughts into clarity, but not judgment. So this is a very good exercise to do. And whilst we are in nature, to balance our own and clean our own and release our own stresses is to go barefoot on the grass. Just be careful that there is no glasses there or bees or other stuff. But just practice walking barefoot on a land where it's not very aggressive towards the feet, but it's really help the land help us to absorb and clean our own stresses, like a good shower, like a good sleep will do.
Yeah.
So this is something really, really nice. The other day I walked barefoot, and one of the girls, she was 3, she saw me and she said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm going without shoes." "Why?" And I explained to her, she said to her father, immediately, "I want to take my shoes off. I want to take my shoes off." And he said, "No, maybe when we come to the grass." No, she was very clear what you want to do.
Yeah, my son never puts his shoes on.
True.
He's always, you know that. He's
Yeah.
always barefoot, always.
Yeah. And maybe the last good exercise, and you can think about thousands of good exercises, is to balance our magnetic life and electrical life.
Let's explain a bit about what it means.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the magnetic life is to do with our heartbeat, is to do with regularity.
Yes, it's like the atom. So we have in the atom, we have the magnetic part, which is the more physical condensed part, the proton and the neutron. And the electric life is everything that is around it. So our magnetic life would be the things that we're used to, the things that we feel safe in. The electrical life would be all the new things. The magnetic life is coming back home, relaxing, taking a shower, going to sleep. The electrical life is work, innovation. So we have these two lives in us again, as a pendulum. Usually, one goes to extreme, the other goes to extreme.
And in these days, because of the government tell us all the time what to do, and it really causes a great lack of balance of our magnetic life. So it's good to have some clarity in our magnetic life, to make an agreement in the family, to make an agreement within our own life, to put things in order, you know, to tidy things that we never had the time to. Because when the magnetic life is on, is steady, is intact, we feel more at inner peace with ourselves. And then we have space for initiative, for spontaneity, but we need the balance now of the two.
Yes, 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 yes. Lori says that you just mentioned clarity, which was one of my qualities with ability. So this is amazing. If you have qualities that you want to share with us, something that you really wrote down, with both hands and wanted to project into the future, to your life, to the world, please write it down here. We would be really delighted to hear these qualities.
Yeah. And the exercise of the two hands,
Mhm.
if you want to do, it recommend like even 3 minutes a day will make a change.
Yeah.
Will make a change.
Yes. Amazing. So we're ending here, and although it's just a starter, and Gafnit, thank you. You give so many amazing exercises, and of course, it's not just to do here for 1 minute. It's really to go and practice and bring more balance to our lives, not only during the equinox, but every
Yes.
time we
Yes.
want to get out of this pendulum and reach a point of balance. Thank you, everybody,
Thank
for
you.
being with us. Thank
And
you.
Happy New Year
And Happy New Year.
and good
For
Equinox Day.
and good equinox. Yes. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye bye, everybody.
Good day. Good night.
Bye.